Hey guys, good morning. Once again back for another primary bedroom makeover sponsored by the unwashed hair ponytail. This is part, I want to say 6. I am losing count of where we are with these primary bedroom makeovers. This is also the final DIY project we are doing for this makeover. Fingers crossed, shouldn't take me that long at all. I'm also leaving this incredibly last minute because this is literally the weekend before this video goes out. So I really need to get it completed this weekend. It's just been terrible weather, which you'll see why I needed it to be good weather, but it's about 9 o'clock now on Friday. So it's meant to be sunshine all day, which means I can very much leave this to it. So we are going to crack on with this makeover, and that is going to start with making over this fireplace. So this is, like I said, the final DIY. It's a little mini project just to add some interest to the room. I'll show you upstairs, but I'm very excited. And yeah, right, let me take you upstairs, let me explain what's going on, and then we'll go from there. Okay, this is the start of the show today. Dash is going to go and show you what's it all about. So this is a fireplace surround, mantle, whatever you want to call it, that I got from Facebook Marketplace for, I want to say about £10 I think I paid. It's beautiful shape, it's perfect for the space, fits this chimney perfectly. And what it's going to do is just kind of add some interest here, frame the space off. I've got the picture there to put up when done, and yeah, it's just, I didn't like the idea of having a picture floating there, and I thought this would be perfect. Plus I could take it with me to our next home and actually properly install it, because I do like the shape and everything of it. Currently it's got a few little damages like here and stuff that I'm not actually bothered by. I like something with a little bit of damage and character. I think it adds to it. It is in this weird grey white paint. I think it's just from aging. That is the first job I need to do, which is strip it off. So that's why I've been waiting for good weather, because I need to paint it with the strip painter stuff, wrap it in cling film, and then leave it outside to do its thing so that I can scrape it off later. I also think I'm going to do similar to what I did with this one here and bleach it, just to get that lighter wood. It depends on what the wood is, but underneath this paint basically. So once that's done, we need to really create something for it to sit on. I mean, I could have it just sit on the ground, but I do want to add a little bit of interest and whatnot. So I have the pieces of wood that I actually used for the PAX makeover to create the frame. I have the perfect amount left, like 2 equal size small bits and 1 large bit that actually go just beyond this, which is perfect because we do need it to kind of come out, not in. I'll kind of explain later. But we're going to make a mini platform. I don't think I want it raised. I did think about maybe do I take it up above the skirting board so that this sits flat. But I think honestly, I think it'd be fine if I just did it, you know, just a little one. It's nothing big, just something to just give it interest. And then realistically, I only have to buy like one thing, which is a sheet of MDF to cover the base and then create a black kind of inside to the fireplace. Because I actually have leftover contact paper that I used for our kitchen makeover ages ago. I've got plenty of rolls of that, so I could actually use that on this to create a little bit of a marble stand. I did think about maybe tile, but I did also want to keep the cost down. So I thought actually I'm just going to go with marble, and the beauty of it is because like everything will be removable, I'll be able to like change it up again if I want to. And then that will be this section here done, and pretty much, like I said, the room finish with just some finishing touches and stuff. Okay, I'm just actually resting you on said mantle now so I can talk to you. So I'm going to put up here some pictures of my inspiration, because this isn't going to be one of those where like it looks 100% that like this fireplace has always been there. I mean, it fits the chimney breast perfectly, so it should look like it is part of the home, but it's obviously not going to have a cut in the wall because that's going to be something I can't reverse or anything like that. So I wanted to take some inspiration from some of the fireplaces that I've seen where it is like obvious that it's nothing in there, but what we could create there. I looked one of them where it's like got a lot of like candles in it. I thought, oh, I could definitely do something with that because that would be quite nice, especially if I got some battery powered ones. That could be quite cool to do in here. I do like some of the brick like layout ones, but I think if I'm going to do brick, I want to do brick downstairs, and the fireplace downstairs definitely needs another makeover in the future, so watch out for that one in terms of what we do. So I'm sticking kind of to just doing the marble up here, generally because I think I want to add just a bit more light into the space. Living in this room now, as we're heading into winter, I still love the green colour. I think it adds a dimension to the room that hasn't existed before, but it's getting very kind of dark and gloomy in here, especially like at now it's not great light because this is north facing, so I just want more white elements just to brighten and reflect light and whatnot. So that's something we'll kind of go from there. So we need to strip this. I have strip paints, which you just basically paint over and leave and then scrape off. What I am going to do is wrap it in cling film to just make sure it kind of comes off as easy as possible, particularly on the mantle where there's a lot of little details and stuff like that, because that's going to be hard to get into. So hopefully this will be a quick process today to do, and then tomorrow will be an easier process to create the platform. Maybe even later on today we'll create the platform, and yeah, like it's just kind of been one of those bit more manual kind of DIY projects, but it's going to make such a difference to space. So I'm going to put my gloves on because I did promise my nail lady I would protect this brand new manicure from paint stripper. She was literally like, oh, stripping something with paint remover as I just painted her new nails. I was like, I'll wear gloves, I promise. So we're going to be wearing gloves to protect our hands, mainly our nails, and we'll strip this outside in the yard, and then like I said, leave it for a bit. Hopefully it will not need any more kind of bleaching or anything like that, but we'll have to see when we get the wood downstairs. For now though, I need to do a before and after reels because I'm a content creator, but yeah, it should be easy enough to do. So let's get started. That is a layer on. So there was about a third of the tub and I completely used up on this. Previously I'd used it on our kitchen, so that little tub is small but mighty. It says to leave it for 20 minutes. I did think about cling film wrapping it to make it easier, particularly around it's more these bits here where, you know, sanding and stuff is just going to be a bit harder to get into. But I'm going to leave it like this and just warn my neighbours. The smell is something else. It smells like pear drops. That may be only relevant to English people, but that is why I'm not doing it in the house. You can do it indoors. I'd just say well ventilate it, but because I've got a dog, I'm just not gonna, you know, subject him to that. So we'll leave it outdoors. It says it's going to be done in 20 minutes, but I'm going to just leave it for an hour or two, and then it's just simply scrape off and it's done. Okay, we have 30 minutes until my next appointment thing that I need to do. So what I've decided to do is just build the platform really quickly because I don't think this will take me any time whatsoever to do. So let's just crack on with it. So I have these 2x4s from the primary bedroom, the Pax wardrobe makeover. They are approximately by half a centimetre off on one of them, the same length. This also is longer than the fireplace, so I think the fireplace is 130 centimetres and this is just slightly wider. In fact, I need to go grab my tape measure. 1 second, guys. Okay, apologies guys, that took me longer to run around to find the tape measure than I expected. So now we're cutting it for time. But I did just measure the fireplace. It's 119 and this piece of wood is just 123 and a half. So I think that's a perfect kind of little overlap at the side of a traditional heath, whatever you call it, which is the bit that the mantle sits on. I'm just currently pulling up my inspiration photos on the phone just to get an idea of what they have done and what I would do. Now a lot of these mantles actually end where the fireplace is, which is interesting because mine downstairs overlaps, but these all pretty much end square on the mantle. So actually I do prefer that, so I'm going to do the same thing. So we're going to cut this to 119. Now when this is in place and whatnot, hopefully you guys can see, if not I will maneuver you. So if you can see there, that is far too wide to have a heath. Like, again, just pulling up my inspiration images on my phone and what I've shown you, they don't stick out that far, particularly in a bedroom when we need a bit of like maneuver around. So my guess is, or my assumptions would be, to probably go to about, I'm gonna say 25 centimeters, which would make it stick out just slightly more than this. So maybe we go a bit more like 22. I'm just thinking of the big bits here. I want a little bit of a stand to put stuff on. I'm gonna go with 22. That seems like a good amount to go with. I mean, realistically, I could go to 25, see how it looks once the fireplace is done, and cut down. I can't add, well, you can add length on, but it's just would be awkward and difficult. So let's go for 25, and if I have to you know, cut off 2 centimeters or 3 centimeters, that's all fair, well and done. But that will create that kind of nice little half bit. Now obviously these are too small to hold the main bit of the fireplace, the 2 legs, as I'm going to call them. So it would be good to do, ooh, sorry, that's my phone going off. It would be good to do a bit of a bracket and stuff. Now I do have this piece of wood which is smaller than these, so that probably wouldn't work as well. These are obviously also too short. Now I do have this bad boy, if I try not break everything. These are all just scrap bits of wood I've had downstairs, by the way, guys. Like, they're just from projects and whatnot. So I could have it stand on that. Or am I thinking this, you know, am I reading into this a bit too much, and actually it will be fine once I put the MDF on? I just don't want the MDF to start to slope down, but realistically, if I don't stand on it and I'm putting light objects on, it should be fine. And the legs are literally going to be on here as braces. So that's that. I just probably need like a very, I think if I got like a 2440 millimeter piece of MDF, that would be more than enough to make both the cut and cover this bit to create the kind of half and stuff like that. So the one I'm trying to look at doing is, how do I create it where it goes in and out kind of thing, so that it looks like there's a hole there but there isn't. We're also going to have to consider that we're going to have quite a big gap between the wall and the fireplace with the skirting board, because obviously we're not cutting that down. That's probably maybe where some of these pieces would just avoid knocking you off your bit. Like, maybe we will use some of these just to buff it out a little bit, because I would like it kind of, you know, kind of streamless inside. But also I think because this is a rental, it doesn't matter so much if it's not absolutely too butted up. I can put a plant there, I can put something there just to hide the gap as such. And realistically, it's only going to be that side that bothers me, because this side's going to be hidden with the obviously packed wardrobes here and stuff like that. I'm not going to attach this to anything. It literally is going to sit there. There are 2 little kind of brackets on the fireplace that you can attach from the outside to secure it to the wall. I think I'm going to turn those in and attach it to the wall inside it, so it's hidden. Again, that's probably a future Zell problem, but let me just trim these down to 25 and 119 centimeters, screw them in with the big ass nails and stuff like that, and then that bit will be done, and then we can kind of go from there on how we're going to do stuff, and then I can pick up some MDF this afternoon. So let's get cracking. Hello, I'm gonna get low to you guys. you can use your saw to create angles. I don't think I've ever really spoken about this on the channel, but if you have a hand saw like this, you'll see that on the handle there is a 90° and a 45°, and that means when you are cutting wood, if you need to measure off and get it on a straight 90 angle, you can do that and draw across there and it'd be straight, or you can turn it and do that and you've got a 45° angle. So you don't always need like a proper set square or anything like that if you're doing cuts like this. Obviously, measure twice, cut once rule, but it's always just a nice thing to do. I love how I'm just talking to you with my head off screen, but you know, when you're doing projects like this, it's always useful to have those things on hand, and it's just extra things you don't have to buy if you don't need to. I look like a hot mess, like literally. I was tempting to see what I could do with removing the layer of paint. The paint seems to come off fine. There is just something underneath it that is like sealed on, like it literally is in the wood, and the paint stripper is just not getting through. When I've done it with like my pine kitchen cabinets, it was fairly easy to remove, but there's just something that's in the wood that is not budging with the paint stripper. So I gave it a good sand. I ran out of sandpaper with my electric sander, so there's still a little bit on the top, but I'll show you where we are with now. But this is going to take me a lot longer to strip than I thought it would. Part of me is actually like, okay, maybe I can do this myself. I'm going to put my husband to work on it on Sunday, see what he can come up with. But part of me is also, one of our neighbours is a good handyman, so I'm going to be like, how much would it be if you just kind of took this project over and brought it back to me in its raw wood form? So I'm going to see if I can catch his like eye and just kind of inquire as to how much it would be and whatnot. But let me go show you where we're up to now. And yeah, we'll just be tackling that kind of bit and then moving on to the final bit of the makeover. So I've got the wooden kind of like half ready to go. It's just all the other bits of it. Anyway, let me show you where we're up to so far with the fireplace. Okay, I'm fighting with a school lesson that seems to be happening outside, but you can see here it's really taken off the layer and stuff. There's sort of like a fine coat that I need to like run over, but this is where you can see it here where the paint's moved, but this is just like embedded. I really hope you can hear me, guys. But yeah, it's like embedded in it. So it's removed the first layer. The wood looks really nice underneath it once everything's taken off. But let me take you inside and kind of go from there. So yeah, like I was saying before, rudely interrupted by school children, you know, learning. It's like, see, it's just that kind of initial bit and stuff. So I'm going to see if I can make contact with Rob and just see if he would be willing to kind of remove the rest of the layers and stuff like that and just take it off me so that it's like completed for next week. In case you hadn't guessed, this project probably isn't happening this weekend. There's just a lot more stuff that needs to go on. So I'm moving the video a bit, which is like, but it is what it is. You know, these things happen. So hopefully we'll get it ready for next weekend so we can start on working on the other bits and bobs and stuff. My other thought is, maybe can I try barbecue cleaner? I have tried the method of bleaching and stuff like that before, and that has worked kind of particularly well. I've never tried it on something with paint and stuff like that. We shall see. But yeah, it is going to be a case of just kind of slowly but surely chipping away at this. But I think it's going to look really good with, you know, in its natural form. Like, part of me is like, maybe I should just leave it white, but part of me also is like, I think it's going to look better as a wood to bring some warmth into the space. So I will catch you guys up very, very soon with an update as to how the fireplace is going. Guys, good morning. It is, I think, about a week later. We are completing this DIY project today. Not much because I've already had to push this video back to get it completed, but also the video goes out this Thursday, so we desperately do need to like finish this DIY project up. I look horrific. I've literally just thrown myself like hair up into like a clip, and I'm just like, okay, we're getting on with stuff. So the fireplace is now being completed. My poor husband has been working on that project every single night for a whole week. That paint was like glued on there. It was not coming off whatsoever. Oh, I thought I had something on my head then. But yeah, he was on it all week. Sanding away, stripping it, like everything, and it still wasn't budging. He got most of it off. I would say about 95% of it had been removed, but the other bit he was like, I'm calling time on it. So this morning I bought some of the oven and barbecue cleaner. It's the same thing I did with this one. You spray it on the wood, it lifts the colour, it lifts everything, gives it a nice kind of bleach look. So it's out there for an hour to dry, and then I will wash it off with just a watering can, just get all the stuff off and then leave it to dry for as long as possible. For now, I've just completed my half, so I did have to cut it because stupidly for me, I measured the top of the fireplace, not where the legs are. I know, Dash, I know. So it was too big for the fireplace. I could have had it overlap a little bit like it is in my living room, but it's not the look that I absolutely love, and it's nothing just to shorten it, so that's what I did today. I've also been to a DIY store and picked up flat pieces of board. This is actually hardwood. I was aiming to get MDF, but they had these cuts for £10 and £4, which was a lot cheaper than what it was going to be to buy it as like a full set, and we just so happened to find 2 pieces that like would fit my measurements, so that was great. So I have wood glued that one on there, so that is ready to go in probably about an hour or 2 once it's completely cured. For now, I'm going to work on this piece of wood, which is off camera, but it's a big piece. This is going to go inside the fireplace, so this is going to kind of be the main focal point. I am using this stuff. This is marble contact paper. I have had this for years now. It's just been sat looking pretty up in the attic and whatnot. This is literally spares. I've got 2 of them from when we did the kitchen makeover many moons ago. It's lasted a long time. Like, it has held on and done its thing, which is fabulous. So I am just using it now to cover this. Oh, sorry, I just hit you, so I do apologise. I did look at maybe getting peel and stick tile. I like kind of like a subway tile look. I particularly love a brick look, but I decided actually I have it here, let's not buy anything more. We're keeping this super cheap. Like, we got fireplace for super cheap, we've got this wood for super cheap. We're keeping this as a really cheap and cheerful DIY project. So I'm going to cover this with this stuff, and then we are pretty much like on the, like, I think we can get this done tonight. It will literally be a case of just gluing this with no more nails to the fireplace once it's completely dry. Doing that once it's dry, which will be no breeze, and then just setting up the fireplace. I'm going to get this on. It's literally peel and stick. Peel it, stick it on. It should stick to the wood absolutely fine. It's stuck to the MDF stuff downstairs, so it should be absolutely fine. The only thing I've got is that this is exactly 90 centimetres and this was exactly 90 centimetres. But that is including an overlap, so it's not going to be like a show, but we're still going to have to be careful because it's exact measurements and whatnot, like to the brim exact measurements, but it'll be fine. So peel, stick, cut with scissors or a knife if you're trying to get more intricate. The good thing about this is that this board you're not going to see, so I'll just be able to shimmy it on. Oh, I need to go and get my scraper to make sure there's no air bubbles. But like for other projects, you want to just take your time with it. Of course I'm going to take my time with this one, but it's one of those where you may need a knife to be a bit more integral with like preciseness, so going around corners and stuff like that. Particularly for this bit, when I come to do the corner bit here, I'll be going very precise and making sure we've got some really sharp corners and whatnot. So I'm going to go and get my scraper now while I remember, and we're going to crack on with this, and yeah, we'll almost be done. The next day and the fireplace is completed. The last DIY project of this makeover is done and I am so happy. I'm going to quickly show it you and then sign off, and then yeah, we are almost at the finishing line with completing this bedroom makeover. I'm so excited. Right, do you want to see it in full glory? Let's go. So this is it in its full glory with a little bit of styling. I still need to fix that picture up there as you can see, but another time, another day. I am so happy with it. I love that it is more grey than pure white. It just adds a bit of interest to it. It'd be lovely to have done the tile, but I think as a cheap and cheerful DIY, this fits in perfectly. It just adds something to the room without taking away, and I absolutely love it. I still want to get loads of candles here or some kind of fireplace props just to kind of illustrate it, but I absolutely love it. In moving in, I will admit there is a little bit of like a white mark on this. This is literally where we could not move that kind of last bit of primer. But in all honesty, I am actually happy with the results. When I step back and I think actually it just has like a bit of a whitewash to it and I quite like it. You know, who knows what we'll do with it in the future when we move to our forever home. Maybe we'll fully sand it, maybe we'll paint it, who knows. But we now have this £10, I can't remember how much we paid, but it was literally cheap as chips fireplace that is ours for the rest of our lives, well, as long as we want it, and we can make it over however we want. But just a little bit of a vignette that is just beautiful. If I turn around this side, there you go. It just looks gorgeous and I'm so happy with the results. Oh, I have a new filming location. You're literally propped up on the mantle as it is right now. So yeah, everything went down really easy when I was kind of putting it together. The base is not attached to the mantle, it's like kind of slipped in and stuff, which is fine. The mantle itself is attached to the wall with some brackets. it was a last minute addition. I thought it could lean up, and then I thought actually I just want it to be secure, so I got some brackets. Really easy. I literally did it within an hour this morning, hence why I'm literally finishing this off 2 days before this video goes out. This is how like to the last minute I am with this project, and how desperate I am for it to be over so I can just go into the festive period, complete the DIYs for 2023, and then kind of start again afresh with this home. But it is on, it's beautiful. The backing is attached with no more nails, as you saw, so it's going to be easily removable, like when we want to just have the fireplace like actually attached to a fireplace, or who knows what we'll do in the future with it. But I'm so happy with it. Like I said, done a bit of styling, but I mean this is kind of the finish, like it, but there's a few more finishing touches to do. I have a few things I've ordered. There's a few places I want to go to get more stuff, so it is very much almost there. So I will be working on finishing off the primary bedroom makeover, which is a video that goes out a week today when I'm filming it. So we are down to last wire, but there is a couple of things I want to introduce to you, new purchases, just kind of finishing touches to the room in terms of there's a bit more artwork. This artwork needs to go up on the wall properly because it only needs one instead of two, so I have to redo the bloody brackets and stuff. And I just want to see if there's any more little bits that would create kind of a nice thing. And as I said, I want loads of candles, like different heights and stuff down here, just to fill this empty void. But I'm happy. I'm so happy that we are like in the last bits of it, and this room is just so cozy, so nice to be in. I'm really happy, guys. So signing off this DIY project here. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Do hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on the final makeover, and yeah, like, rate, do all that stuff. Leave a comment as well. Let me know which part of the DIY project you've enjoyed the most. And yeah, guys, I will see you guys very soon on this kind of last minute must finish off this DIY project before the new year. But thank you so much, guys. Have a lovely rest of your week, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye.